Greetings, magical mavens. It's Afira here, the Writing Witch, and in this video, I'm inviting you to join me for an exploration of some of the most ancient and powerful themes to tap into for the early fall season. And rather than just chatting about the magic and myth of legend, I'm instead showing you real-life examples of both how and why these themes are still wildly beneficial to your physical, mental, and emotional health today, regardless of your lifestyle or your culture of origin. I discovered the Wheel of the Year about 8 years ago in my early 20s, and it could not have come at a better time. Having recently let go of the dogmatic beliefs that had been fed to me as a child and newly discovering who I really was as an adult, the Witch's Sabbats provided me with both freedom and structure to learn, explore, and develop into the person that I was truly meant to become. Even though the information that was available online and in books at the time was mostly about Celtic-inspired neo-paganism, I used my intuition to read between the lines and peel back the layers and layers of cultural contexts and connotations to discover the very formula that creates all manifestations in the universe. It's what I like to call the plant, tend, harvest, compost cycle. All ancient cultures around the world understood and valued this cycle. And whether or not you're a gardener or live in an agricultural community, we can all relate to this concept when we look at it in the context of our own personal development journey. We plant seeds in the form of desires. We tend our intentions by following our intuition and inspiration towards that which feels aligned with our goals. We harvest the results in the form of manifestations and progress towards our goals, be they tangible or in the form of priceless wisdom. And then we compost any physical, mental, or emotional baggage that we may have picked up along the way that's no longer serving our highest expansion and fulfillment, so we can clear the way for more blessings to come in. If we look at the most simplified and universal themes of each of the seasons on the Wheel of the Year, we'll notice that there's a natural time in the cycle for every aspect of the manifestation process. This empowers us not only by inviting us to align our intentions with this energy to make our desires a reality, but it also gives us permission to slow down when we need to and speed up when we have the energy to get a lot done. Having the awareness that every theme will have its time, it enables us to let go and trust the universe more, which aligns our vibration with the energy of receiving, and it empowers us to take action in ways that feel truly aligned, progressive, and fulfilling when the time is right. So, of course, being the Writing Witch, my favorite way to remember and implement these themes is to keep a seasonal journal, grimoire, or book of shadows. This doesn't need to be intimidating or complicated at all. In fact, I've spent the past several years sifting through all the mumbo jumbo about the Wheel of the Year and about keeping a book of shadows, and I've extracted just the most potent, approachable, and inclusive themes so that myself and my community can simplify our seasonal manifestation practice into something that feels totally natural and authentically us. I've compiled these essential themes into just 3 simple journal prompts for each of the 8 Sabbats. And I've designed gorgeous printable workbooks that can easily be added into a 3-ring binder or a junk journal each year. And unlike most Sabbat rituals suggested in books and online, which pressure you to do some big, intimidating ritual that you have to get perfectly right on the day of the Sabbat, I instead highly encourage the natural concept of sustainability by spreading your journaling sessions out across the 8 weeks surrounding each Sabbat. Yes, that means that even if you don't even start your journaling until after the Sabbat, you still get to continue benefiting from this energy and harnessing its themes for up to 4 weeks after the actual day of the Sabbat. How liberating is that? Sometimes I like to use these prompts for really deep, extensive contemplation or to help me manifest a more specific desire over the course of a year or a season. Other times I like to take a more lighthearted approach and simply take these prompts as an invitation to reflect on what's sparking my joy and curiosity in each season of my life. These can also be a great place to start discovering or rediscovering what your values, desires, and personally meaningful traditions really are. So in this video, we're going to be looking at the 3 most important themes of the autumn equinox season. And I'm going to illustrate this for you with a few real-life ways that you can work with them or play with them in your practice to experience more clarity and fulfillment. The autumn equinox, also known as Maban or the second harvest, is celebrated around September 21st in the Northern Hemisphere and March 21st in the Southern Hemisphere. The word equinox means equal night, referring to the way there are 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness on both the autumn and spring equinoxes. On the autumn equinox, though, the days are growing shorter to make way for the longer, colder half of the year. My favorite themes to focus on this time of year are balance, gratitude, and preparation. Here's a question to ask yourself around the theme of balance or recalibration. Which areas of your life feel like they need to be balanced? And what are some actionable steps that you can take now to create more balance in these areas in the season or year ahead? One way to tap into balance and recalibration is by observing how the elements are at play in your life in the current season. I tend to think of early autumn as generally a time of abundant earth element energy. Now, I know this differs from the usual correspondence suggestion of fire for this Sabbath, but as with all things in your practice, it only needs to make sense to you. But I'll explain to you how both elements can apply. The fire element represents transformation, which is definitely an important theme of this season. But for me, the first element I see when I look around during this time of year is clearly earth. The leaves, nuts, and fruits that have been growing all summer long are now falling into our laps, either literally or figuratively. It's often this time of year that I'm reaping the benefits of the intentions that I set back in December and January and continued to take inspired action on over the course of the spring and summer. And I'm also focusing on making my home and business more cozy, comfortable, and sustainable for the cold days ahead. These are all themes that are covered by the earth element, which is about tangible manifestations, physical things, money, food, clothing, shelter, and all of that sort of thing. But tapping into the power of the elements is not always just about glorifying the ones that are prominent at that time in your life. It also lies in our ability to rebalance the elements and shift our reality into one that's more aligned with the desires of our hearts. This is where the fire element of transformation does come into play. The early fall season is also a perfect time for releasing that which no longer serves you, kind of like you would at the waning moon, as this is the waning sun of the year. It's also a great time to establish lifestyle updates and rituals that embody the version of you that you wish to become by next year this time. This could mean slowing down in certain areas and speeding up in others. And of course, if you're just looking for a super simple and lighthearted way to observe the elements this season, it's always a great idea to just get out in nature. Whether it's a simple park walk, a hike in a more natural area, a drive through the countryside, or a visit to a farm where you can pick the fruit of the season, just step outside and see what inspiration and ideas can come from just observing nature. If you enjoy decorating, this is one of the most fun seasons for collecting natural objects to bring into your home and decorate your house or your altar. And this leads us to the next theme for the autumn equinox, which is gratitude, the harvest season, and hearth and home energy. Here's a question to ask yourself around the theme of gratitude, harvest time, and home. What are 10 things you're thankful for in your life right now, and why are they so valuable? And what are 3 ways you can either share of your abundance with others this season, or get even more value out of it yourself? If you don't already have a consistent gratitude practice, now is the perfect time of year to get started. One of the absolute most important aspects of manifestation is gratitude. We attract more of what we're consistently thankful for. This time of year is known as the Witches' Thanksgiving for a reason. It's because we witches know as well as anyone just how magnetic we become to our desires when we celebrate where we're at and how far we've already come. What you focus on grows. We can also simply lean into the things that make us feel cozy, comfortable, and abundant, which enables us to more easily slip into that attitude of gratitude. This can be as simple as cozying up and watching your favorite fall movies or reading books that evoke the mood of the season for you. I also love creating playlists that evoke the mood of the Sabbath. These I can play during ritual, but I can also play them while I'm working. It's all about taking the mundane and finding ways to make it feel magical so that you can raise your vibration anytime, anywhere, and become more of a match to what fulfillment really feels like for you. I'm what some might call a cottage witch, meaning that a lot of my practice is centered around simple daily rituals that merge the mundane with the magical by simply bringing mindfulness into things like cooking or eating seasonal foods or cleaning, decorating, and blessing my home, sometimes with herbs, plants, and symbols that evoke the energy of the season. On a tangible level, I like to add and remove things from my home each season to continue matching the vibe of my desired future home and lifestyle, getting closer and closer to that reality with each passing Sabbath. And this merges with the next theme, which is preparation, creativity, and transformation. Here's a question to ask yourself around the theme of preparation, creativity, and transformation. Which areas of your life could use some preparation and improvement? In which subjects are you choosing to delve deeper in your studies? How can you get creative to make your home or your life more cozy this autumn? Traditionally, the theme of preparation applied to the concept of preparing for winter. But depending on where you live and what your personal relationship is with the seasons, this may or may not be particularly relevant. For me, it definitely is, because I live in the frozen tundra of the north, aka the lake effect snow region of New York. But since I'm blessed to have a warm, hospitable home and consistent access to fresh food, I also extend this theme of preparation into my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. Not only do I create rituals and goals to prepare myself mentally for the colder, shorter days ahead so that I'm less susceptible to seasonal depression, but I also use this season to tap into those back-to-school vibes. Even if, like me, you haven't been a professional student in an academic setting for over 10 years, we can all still be part of that collective energy of focusing on education this time of year. Cozy up with books or documentaries on any subject that interests you, or choose topics that you know are in direct alignment with your goals for the year ahead. This time of rebalancing, turning inward, and preparing for the future is the perfect time to gather information or refine your skills for greater success. This could be anything from signing up for a class to simply changing out your wardrobe for the season to better represent the person you desire to evolve into. For example, it helps me to feel more like my ideal future self when I do things like plan my outfits in the fall, something I'm way less motivated to do in those lazy, hazy days of summer. I'm also in the process of manifesting my dream home, where I know I'll be much closer to nature and wildlife. So this time of year, I prepare myself for that future reality by doing things like feeding wildlife and experimenting with fall gardening in my small patio garden, so that when I do have a lot more space and a much closer connection to nature, I'll already have some of the necessary skills to have that epic garden of my dreams. And I'm programming my subconscious mind to value things like that, which I know is part of what attracts our desired realities to us. So, Magical Mavens, how ready are you to see how these themes are showing up to benefit you this year in your own way, and to learn how to customize your practice to become a vibrational match to your desires in the season and year ahead? Well, if you already have a VIP pass to the summit, you're getting access to my seasonal living guide for the autumn equinox season. It includes multiple printing options for these prompts, plus 2 more prompts designed to help you manifest fulfillment this season and in the year ahead. You'll also get access to my entire library of lessons and workshops on how to manifest more fulfillment during the early fall season. You'll also have the option of joining my private members community, where I host a 5-week challenge for each of the 8 seasons, where we discuss these prompts together for the chance to win amazing prizes like seasonal tarot readings and journal goodies from my shop. If you haven't gotten your VIP pass, I invite you to sign up now. See you there. And until then, blessed be.